If I do get a chance to speak.
Please change the agenda to allow for people to speak. Yep.
And they'll say, oh yeah, we are allowing it.
And if they say it, then I guess they're saying it.
Okay.
So, then we win.
That's what I thought too. I printed it out, but just in case.
Don't mind me just trying to get this set up. They are recorded, but they are not properly archived. They just changed it a few months ago to keep them up posted for a year, and then after that they're deleted. They're not left on like YouTube or anything like that. So that's kind of what I do is I record it, then it stays in posterity. They've never had to lose it that I recall in 36 years. So yeah. They could have done what was asked to, then they would have had to move it. But, you know, whatever. I don't know. The only one I see is Dr. Hay, and I think it was Wrong. Those are the only two I've seen so far. Touched it. I do. I have Natalie. But I was able to plug in, so.
You can't do that. Give your life. And they just like, I know. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. We went once, and they just stretch it out because they're all kids first. Oh, right, yeah. Is it like OT or yeah, she was
He's here. She's trying to get us home here. There's no reason for her to sit there. She's just asking for decorum. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with decorum.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another regular scheduled meeting of Sargent Area School District Board of School Directors. Just thank you for being here and having us serve. A couple things for tonight. As per usual, this is a recorded meeting available for rebroadcast on Comcast Channel 28. Reminder, as per usual, there are two comment periods for the public. One is on public comment on agenda items, as well as public comment on agenda items. At this time, rise and join me for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
For all.
Mr. Barnes. Mr. Croccio. Ronald. Lizette. Formica. Keith. Here. Landis. Here. Nelson. Here. Wheeler. Folks, before we go further tonight, I have a few comments now. I'm going to have this again later in the agenda. Please bear with me for just a few moments. I realize many of you are here tonight due to the comments expressed by Mr. Formica. I also realize many of you this evening wish to address the board during a public comment period on non-agenda items. This opportunity will be afforded. However, we also have an obligation to conduct the business of the school district, and we will accomplish that this evening. This includes customary payments and business, not forgetting the primary reason we all gather, being set the table to meet the needs of our students, while sharing more about how they are thriving with Atherton. To do so, we'll be holding all public comments regarding Mr. Formica related, as well as any other comments related to non-agenda items, until the end of the meeting, but before adjournment. For the record, this is not a far departure from our standard agenda. If you have a comment relating specifically to the agenda items and not related to Mike or his comments, we will take this comment for the public comment on the agenda item section of our meeting. In an effort to make sure your comments are truly aligned with the agenda items, I may pause you and ask you to keep your comments focused solely on the business matters contained within the agenda, or I'll ask you to please hold them for later. As you've heard me ask for 3+ years, and I will continue to ask the same, that we remain true to what this meeting is about and conduct ourselves civilly. Please remember that you don't have to agree with someone else's view, but we need to respect each person's experience. To help promote civility, we've implemented additional measures for meetings being seen or unseen. My example would typically have security officers in the school police present. Seeking would continue that practice and other enhancements. We also have additional cameras. I ask that you please be mindful of your comments this evening. Attempts to disrupt the meeting and use of profanity will not be tolerated. If these situations we'll be activating the meeting. I don't say this as a threat or as a means to intimidate or stifle, but we will, as we have before, hope to conduct the meeting in the most professional and courteous manner to benefit all. As a note for some of you, this may be your first meeting in this forum, you may wish to comment. That opportunity is during the public comment period. Public comment is your time to provide comments and the board's opportunity to listen. The board typically does not answer questions during this time. I want to share that with you up front. Before we move forward, I now want to ask our solicitor, Mr. Buchanan, to address the community relative to the law regarding this matter.
I have a few points that I want to make in advance of public comment period number 1 and public comment period number 2. First of all, this is not a town meeting. Unlike other states in the country, Pennsylvania has not adopted a town meeting procedure which would connote an exchange of ideas between the community and the board. Pennsylvania follows that our meetings have to be public, and for the public, definitely for the public this evening. And the purpose of the meeting is to have the board listen to what you have to say on the issues that you may have presented in this matter. I also need to say on behalf of the board, the fact that they are not coming and responding to you, do not construe that as either acquiescence or agreement. The board is here to listen this evening, and they do plan to listen to the comments made and within the strictures of our procedure. Now, one of the issues that we are definitely aware about this evening is about comments made by one board member on a social media platform. And the question is, what powers does a school board have to address that issue? We don't write the laws in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We interpret the laws and execute them. And there are only very limited reasons how a school board can address a board member who may do something that they may not like. A board member is an elected official, and unlike elected officials, there's no impeachment procedure available under the public school code. The only procedure, and this sounds not applicable to this situation, was written back in 1949 when the current school code was drafted, that if a school board member fails to attend 2 successive public meetings without an appropriate excuse, that individual can be excluded after some type of due process hearing. Absent that, the only way to exclude a board member is whether the district attorney, that's not me, that's Kevin Steele, the county district attorney, determines that a school board member has committed a high crime, meaning some type of felony or criminal offense that the attorney has the power to remove. And that's basically the major reason that a school board can address the situation. So the board this evening is prepared to listen, hear what you have to say, but whether it's fortunate or unfortunate from your perspective, the school board is limited in what it can do. The last point I want to make up is we did see some of the public comments in the first public comment here. And under the circumstances, for the first public comment period, we see that 2 individuals have requested an opportunity to amend the agenda for the potential of adding through a resolution in addition to the agenda. While we appreciate the thought, our state legislature has limited what we can do in this matter. We cannot add agenda items.
Yes, you
under
can.
State sunshine law unless it is posted 24 hours in advance of the meeting. So we will not be addressing any adding of agenda items because we can't do that. And that was actually recently asserted in another school district case, the Parkland School District case, and adding agenda items is essentially verboten. So even though you may want to add an agenda item, you will not be able to do so. And when your name comes up to Taylor, going through the names to sign up, we will not be addressing any comments during our first public comment period about adding an agenda item. So with that in mind,
Thank you. All right, folks, first up is public comment on agenda items. Taylor, I'm going to turn to you.
All right, up first tonight we have Alex Wisser on consent agenda item 516, which is the approval of the security guards compensation plan.
Hi, Alex Wisser, Upper Salford Township. I first wanted to thank the board for including financial statements and check registers on tonight's agenda for this meeting, so we are able to see those before the board votes. However, for consent item agenda 516, the motion to approve the security guards compensation plan, and 517, the motion to approve the administrative assistance to cabinet compensation plan, there are no attachments. I wish for the board to consider including the attachments for all the consent agenda items so that the public knows what the board is voting on prior to the board taking that vote. These are public records, and for the sake of transparency, it would be helpful if the board could include them. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Bowers on agenda clubs.
Thank you. I have three, Elise Bowers, or something. I'm not sure I could not find, I'm not sure where they are. The list of the clubs that are getting approved on the agenda tonight, is that somewhere in the agenda that is publicly? Because I couldn't find it.
Agenda. There is a master agenda list, and it does vary by school, but Dr. Gallagher checked this.
You know, your mic is going in there on Jeff's list.
And you hear me okay?
I did that.
There we go. Thanks, folks. What I was saying is each school does have a varying of different clubs. Some have similar, some have the same, some have altogether different. Dr. Gallagher was.
Yeah, I'm interested in what clubs we have here that we are looking at approving or having in the.
Okay, I have the list of clubs. I thought we did make this public, so.
It might be just I couldn't find it.
Are the lists on the public agenda?
And that's fine, if you want to email it later, I can just send it.
They'll be added shortly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have one point of information.
Thanks for picking that up.
I have one point of information, for purposes of the meeting that's continuing tonight. Where in our meeting tonight I understood that maybe Mr. Formica would do a public apology here rather than just the letter that got disseminated in the email. So I am curious in our meeting tonight, if anyone will be addressing Formica's apology that I find fall in the agenda. And I can wait for the answer, or I can another point of information.
Yeah, please continue reporting it. That would not be
That would not what?
That is not related to the agenda, so please do continue on. Sorry about the point.
It kind of is on the agenda, even though it's not listed. You could put it on the agenda to make an agenda item. I choose not to. Yep. Just watch it.
Read the room! Read the room!
Can you speak up on the point?
I do. Point of order with respect to sunshine laws. Should you, for any reason tonight, feel compelled to postpone any portions of this meeting, let me refer to the sunshine law at paragraph.
20 seconds.
I don't know. I recall my time. Thank you very much. If the board determines that there is not sufficient time tonight, the board may, this is the sunshine law, the board may defer the comment period to the next regularly scheduled meeting or to a special meeting occurring in advance of the next regular meeting.
Time's up.
I recall my time. Thank you very much. I would like a public record of the people who were denied the right to speak tonight so that they are afforded the first opportunity at the scheduled next meeting or special meeting should be decided upon. Thank you very much.
The next comment was for Charles Wellner. The topic was agenda item change. We already addressed that.
Based upon what I said previously, that is not an agenda item, cannot address an agenda item change under the Sunshine Law.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then the next one was Don Waldenberger and an agenda to add a resolution.
Similarly,
False.
And that would be all the public comment on our agenda.
May I ask a question regarding my rejection? May I ask a question regarding my rejection? Point of information.
Come to him afterwards if you like, Mr. Waldenberger.
Well, I'd like to address it now, but
Point of information.
point of information. Robert's rules.
Mr. Sultanic is the legal expert. I am not. I am going with Mr.
If you follow
Sultanic.
Robert's rules, then I point of information.
Mr. Waldenberger, have at it.
Is why any other body? Are you sorry? Let me rephrase that. You follow Robert's rules, correct, for your parliamentary procedure?
Actually, we follow a modified version of Robert's rules.
So either way,
Irrelevant.
now under Robert's rules, amending an agenda.
It's irrelevant. The Sunshine Law has precedent over Robert's.
It does allow you to change the agenda. It's been done in surrounding districts with other issues over the last couple years.
You cannot add agenda items under the Sunshine Law, which has precedent over Robert's rules.
And it's been done in other districts with no violation of the Sunshine Act.
People speed and they get caught. That doesn't mean that it's correct.
Coward.
That's right. Could please, executive session? Any copy of that, please?
An executive session was held prior to the last committee meeting to discuss legal and personnel matters. That session lasted approximately 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to move on to report of the superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to report this has been the first week of school for the new school year, and we are in this beautiful new auditorium, and we have had a great first week of school. A couple late buses,
but all the children came. They were happy, and they're happy. I'm sure they're off tomorrow and Monday. So it's going to be a great year. I just feel it. And I also want to congratulate Mrs. Janet Flissek, one of our board members. Janet was appointed by the Montgomery County Intermediate Board to be their board president. So that's a nice compliment to Janet. I'm lucky because I was work more with Janet because I do a lot of work at the IU. Congratulations, Janet. That's my report.
All right, Dr. Gale, let's move into consent action agenda, please.
At this time, I would like to recommend to the board that they approve the consent action items 5.2 to 5.18 as presented. Board members are invited to remove an item from the consent action agenda if further discussion is needed. Items on the consent action agenda that are to be considered motions for approval are board meeting minutes, financial statements and check listings, ratified requests for overnight field trip, approved requests to attend conferences and workshops, ratified personnel items, approved personnel items, approved comprehensive school improvement plans, approved school clubs and activities for the 24-25 school year, approved security guards compensation plan, approved administrative assistants to cabinet compensation plan.
Thank you, Dr. Gallagher. Board members, may I have a motion, please? Have a second, please. Been made by Mr. Nelson, seconded by Mr. Ron. All those in favor, aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Gallagher. All right, folks, next up we have future meetings, which we do have a few as per usual. Wednesday, the 11th of September, we'll have board committee meetings, 6:30 p.m. in the district office. Monday, September 16th, the North Monco Technical Career JOC meeting, 7 p.m., 1265 Southern Town Pike in Lansdale. Wednesday, September 25th, this is Montgomery County IU, Dr. Gallagher just mentioned, at 6:45 p.m., Q West Lafayette Street, Norristown. Again, on Thursday, September 26th, our board action meeting at 7 p.m. For the solicitor.
Okay. I've spoken up already. That would work.
All right, folks, unfinished new business of the board. Any comments? Folks, I have a comment before we wrap up the next two, as I said earlier, so please bear with me for a few moments. Take a couple pages it is, bigger font, Folks, before we begin public comment on non-agenda items, I realize your comments tonight may be strongly worded. You certainly have the right to be passionate, express your views, and we will honor that. However, as we stated earlier this evening, we have an obligation to do so in the most civil, professional manner to allow as many people as possible to be heard, but still being respectful of your time and in alignment with past practice. We'll stick to the following guidelines. We will have a maximum of 1.5 hours of public comment on non-agenda items. Taylor will continue to facilitate. To the members of the community who were not able to sign up early but were here on time and have a chance to make a comment, to be as fair as possible, we will utilize an automated randomizer using the road number aligned to your name. The process will produce a randomized list of those who will have the first opportunity to make a public comment, continue until the hour-and-a-half time period expired. Each person will have the usual 3 minutes. A member of the community may not cede their time to another with the intent to allow that person more than allotted 3 minutes. If your point was already made and perhaps expressed well enough, do not wish to repeat, you have the option to waive your time and allow others to speak. Do so, you will move to the next person in line, and others thank you for the opportunity to speak. We have one person signed up to speak multiple times. We will call them the first time through, and perhaps skip over them thereafter. It's not to slight anyone, but to allow for equal time for all to the best extent possible. Reminder, you must be a resident local taxpayer or employee in order to speak. Temporary accommodation count. At the adjournment of this meeting, members of the public are being asked to leave the building within 15 minutes or so of the adjournment, so that our maintenance team can secure the building as per usual. Folks, over the last several weeks, the board administration have received many emails regarding the comments made by Mr. Formica, and you have the right to share your views and opinions. The district has been clear that it does not condone the comments made by Mr. Formica, but it also needs to be said that our collective actions as a community must reflect what we want our children and fellow leaders to embody. While we as board members are duly elected by the public, each one of us in this community are leaders in many ways. Whether you're a parent, guardian, a mentor, a mentee, a role model, etc. As such, we must consider our actions as well. Our community is rooted in many things, but of faith, forgiveness, and hope. We're also a community where we're not looking for the spotlight, but rest assured, we have a strong desire to be the best. At times, this can be overshadowed by anger, fear, frustration, and the likes, which can lead to any of us saying or doing things otherwise we would not do. Part of being human and not being perfect, which none of us are. While I was not at the most recent committee meeting, I, like many, saw the videos being circulated and heard from many in the community. Noting civility was absent, that we need to conduct the business of the district. A few comments regarding this are warranted. Leading up to the meeting, and at the meeting itself, a few in our community responded with excessive amounts of profanity and vulgarity, both of which serve no purpose other than to disrupt the meeting while furthering the divide. I want to emphasize, I do not believe this is the response from the majority of our school community members. The backlash we received from a few individuals was also alarming. Death threats were received via email and phone, and police had to be involved. We received numerous emails that were extremely vulgar and harassing. Police were involved as well. That kind of backlash is simply not acceptable. It did not help us move forward in any way. When we disagree with something that someone says, or when we find it offensive, we have to find a way to voice those concerns in a manner that is civil, responsible, non-threatening. Point being is, how do we hold each other accountable? Some in the community have exercised to assess the very things we want to dispose of someone else over. Above all, the question that needs to be asked is, have our words and responses in the last few weeks shown the children of our community the best way to respond in life, especially when we feel strongly or are angry? One conversation I was recently involved in spoke to this point. It could be said I would categorize this person as someone who would not vote for the board, but is also someone who has shared when they agree with this board and when they don't. The person stated why they do not condone the actions of Mr. Formica, find them to be unacceptable. Their own use of profanity in their email was uncalled for. For this, they were apologetic. After reflecting on the email they sent, they realized their actions could no better to cite their specific language, and they quote, "My actions were not genuine, and in no way showed my children how to respond in a crisis." We spoke briefly, but I felt this interaction spoke volumes. I respect this person's views, be they for or against, but moreover, on their acknowledgement of the hypocrisy. Spot on. So tonight, as we conduct our business, your opportunity to share your views is important to you. I ask that we each reflect on our own words and ask ourselves if they are appropriate. Again, I support your right to speak in the time allotted, but I ask that we as adults in the community demonstrate how difficult situations should be handled while still expressing our views in a fervent and constructive manner. As a leader, I will live what I just said and try to help bridge the divide. I commit here and now to engaging with a small group of you this fall, facilitated by someone outside of our community, not in the education industry, to discuss our present state, explore hot topics, key issues, seek answers that we can build on, and hopefully leverage to the betterment of our community and its children. Dr. Gallagher, I'm instructing the district to make this happen. We will work together to build out the goals, involve members of the public, seek an appropriate facilitator, and start these meetings. We've received 3 or so meetings out of the gate, and my hope is to have these completed prior to calendar year end, inclusive of published results of those next steps. In closing, folks, we need to move forward. It is my sincere hope that despite our differences, we can move forward as a community and continue to conduct the business of the Farragut Area School. And thank you very much for listening. All right, folks, moving on to unfinished new business on the board. At this time, Mr. Formica would like to address the public. Formica.
So it's on the agenda.
Be quiet.
No, it's on the agenda.
Which comment are you going to talk about? Because we're making a time.
Which comment? Which tweet?
Yeah.
You just violated our rights.
I do. But he has an opportunity, right or wrong, to say the same as you.
Yeah.
Please give him his time, and I promise you, public comments. Committed that at the beginning, do it now. Don't forget, if you have signs, go up and have them if they fit the size, but they're not allowed to be held up to block someone's view behind you. Thank you, sir. Mr. Formica.
I trust that everybody has had the opportunity to read my previous apology.
AI generated.
So in the interest of time, I will not repeat the entire message, and I'll add a few thoughts. I want to again apologize sincerely for my impulsive and juvenile response I made about Kamala Harris several weeks ago. I deeply regret my actions and extend my heartfelt apologies to my supporters and those who voted for me in the school board and administration.
And who else?
While I cannot undo what I have done, I acknowledge that we are living in divisive times, especially with an election on the horizon. Tensions are high and frustrations are prevalent on all sides. Personally, I've grown weary of the hatred and the division.
Folks, if you want to get to your comments, we're ready to do it. No problem.
You're required to do it.
Hang in there. Thank you so much.
Shut them up.
I know I lit the match, but some of the people in this very room poured gasoline on it. My criticism of Kamala Harris is rooted solely in disagreement with her policies, not her race or her gender. She is a national political figure, someone none of us know personally, and has nothing to do with our community. And my comments were never intended to target any individuals or groups within our community.
Boo!
That being said, I recognize that my actions were inappropriate and misguided, and I take full responsibility for it.
Then resign!
Folks, listen. Time out. There's
Then
no time
resign.
for this one. Put your signs down, please. There's people behind you. Listen. You can say what you want and think what you want. Here's the reality.
Read the
That's the right
room.
to speak. Pays his taxes, you do. We've stood behind one thing. We, and I mean we, everybody in this room has stood behind this, and you've done this for us for years now. When tough times hit, COVID, cyber attacks, CRT, DE&I, you name it, guess what? You came out fired up. We appreciate that, but you did something that I'm asking for one more time, please. Let people have a conversation. We're not going to get anywhere, folks. We're not going to be able to conduct the meeting if we don't do it. I'm going to guesstimate Mr. Formica has 2, 3, 4 more minutes, and it's going to be your turn for public comment. So if you want the hooting and hollering during yours, we're not going to do it. We're going to recess, and we're going to figure out how to move forward. All I'm asking is to please allow the comments to be made, allow the man to speak, and your turn will happen in just a few minutes. Thank you so much. Michael, please continue.
All right. My criticism of Ms. Harris is rooted solely in a disagreement of her policies, not her race or gender. She's a national political figure, someone none of us personally know, and is not part of our community. And my comments were never intended to target any individuals or groups within our community. That being said, I recognize my actions were inappropriate and misguided, and I take full responsibility for them. Like everybody else, I'm human. I make mistakes. Being on the school board does not make me immune to error. I'm sure many people in this room have posted something that they regretted later. But with every crisis comes an opportunity to learn. My 6 words revealed so much about the people in this community and those around me. To those who support me, thank you. To those who do not, I understand your perspective. However, from some, the level of hate has been palatable, and that is disheartening. I've lived in this community for 54 years. My wife's 61 years. And we've seen this community, never has this community looked like this. If
Diverse, you mean?
doesn't account for everybody, I prayed for those who harbor so much hate in their hearts. And I hope one day you can let it go so you can be happy too. In the past month, since cutting myself off from social media and the news, I've experienced a profound peace. I've been more focused, productive, happier, and my relationships are stronger than ever, and I encourage everybody to try it because it's cathartic. I'm not making excuses, but social media is emotional cancer. They use addictive algorithms to get impulsive responses. They stem the division. It's concerning that our society continues to allow our children on these platforms, especially in light of the growing research about their negative impact. I'm not blaming social media for my actions. I do believe it's something we need to reflect on, however, after hearing about some of the vicious attacks against me and my family members posted on social media. Most far worse than what I posted.
Hanging politicians, the judges.
So far. Tonight, I anticipate hearing the tired old labeling applied to all white alpha males to shut up.
No!
You hear white racists, you'll hear misogynists, you'll hear white supremacists, but these labels do not reflect who I am.
Reason!
Will call such accusations completely false. In fact, I challenge anybody here to show me a more racially diverse family than mine. I have 2 African-American grandsons. I also have daughters and granddaughters that I want to flourish, and I'll do anything to help them achieve what they want in life.
What a
I can't
gaslighter!
be a racist or a misogynist.
Gaslight!
As long as my comment is, it was about a single individual, not any group of people. This is being twisted by my opposition into a convenient narrative. If we're being honest, we all know what this backlash is really about. We all know this is about partisan politics.
This is inappropriate!
About that comment. In fact, someone was so unhinged, they called my office and threatened my life. In turn, I gave him my address. Let me be very clear. The attempted intimidation tactics, cyberbullying, harassment, and shaming will not work on me. I can't be intimidated because I just don't care what people think about me. Anybody that knows me knows this. It's not part of my DNA. If you want to attack me, that's fine. I can handle it. Attacking my family members, however, is unacceptable and demonstrates to the entire community how low my opponents will go. Your reactions have done more than how you even hurt me. You have closed down the opinions of citizens that actually are concerned, and you have undermined your own credibility. As we begin the new school year, we have important work ahead of us. I am asking for your forgiveness. So, we can move forward without decisiveness and distraction. But the ball is in your court now. I've already, in turn, forgiven all of you that attacked me. Shortly, you'll be able to speak and use your First Amendment rights to condemn or support my First Amendment rights. I'll continue to pray for you. Success lies in the future, not in the past. God bless our country, our school district, and all of us.
Hey, folks. We're getting done. You take the signs down.
Is it okay to hang politicians, Bill? That were your words. Those were your words.
Officer, you all right? All right, folks. Because we're not going to be able to get along tonight, we're going to take a 2-minute recess. I want to be crystal clear. We'll address it. Put your signs down. We're going to come back, guys, but we're not running the Jerry Springer show. That we're not doing. We're going to come back in 2 minutes, and we're going to address it. But in the meantime, I'd ask you to just relax for a minute. That's all. Please don't go anywhere. If you're staying in your seat, it won't be more than 2 or 3 minutes, I promise you.
Mr. Keith, I'd like to consult with
Mr. Wallenberger, we're standing in recess.
I know.
Come back. Thank you, sir.
I'd like to consult with the
Board members,
solicitor.
2 minutes.
I'd like to speak to the solicitor. Before I file legal action, I'd like to speak with the solicitor. That question. Can you read that? And do you think that's acceptable? He assaulted me and threw my device on the floor.
Please sit down.
He threw my device on the floor.
I can only handle one thing at a time, okay? Can you hang on 1 second?
I was offering a discussion for you. I was offering to have a discussion about whether you think his words were acceptable. Do you think it's acceptable to say that it's okay to hang politicians? I was offering. Hey, stop touching my stuff! Officer, he is touching my stuff! Sir, he is touching my stuff again.
First of all, Mr. Wallenberger, your reporter's in the aisle. I can technically ask you to remove that by the fire marshal. Okay? It's blocking an emergency exit. It's blocking an emergency exit.
But I have been aware and letting people know that's there.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
An emergency and people trip over it, is liable.
You did not ask me. You did not ask me. No.
I did not ask
But if you had said something to me, I would have removed it. I have that.
Can you please remove it?
Okay. Now, can you do something about him throwing my? Can you do something about him throwing my device? Can you do something about him throwing my stuff and unplugging it? Can you do something about that?
I did not see that. Okay. What do you want?
I have witnesses. I offered to this gentleman here.
Please do not touch anybody's device and keep your hands yourself.
I was.
Thank you.
All I do is offer it to show him something
That's all I can do.
and ask him his opinion.
Okay.
And he took it and threw it.
I just spoke to him.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it so
Thank you.
far. It's a little hard to see it, folks. I mean, it's I mean, you know, make an example at all, wish we could still hang people. I don't think that's acceptable. And that was while he was sitting in office. That was this past May. I mean, speaking of rules, they can amend the agenda. It's studying that parliamentary procedure to know this, inside and out. Modified Roberts or not.
There you go.
yell at you now because he yelled at me for that. Because I had my cord in his eye. So,
I understand I saw it all, okay? Just shut up.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I can't talk to you. Please just shut up.
Anyway.
So people take a picture. I can't do that.
Okay.
What did you say? Is it unplugged?
Oh, I unplugged it, yeah.
I was just making
I
sure.
was
I
made
didn't
to
want to step
unplug
on
it,
it.
yes. I was made to unplug it.
Never enough. Never enough. I'm good with it. I love my job. I love the kids. The kids are absolutely awesome. They are. Howdy.
I had a question. What is going to fix it?
It's actually done. Yeah. They're in the fix the stuff stage. We're finishing up the lights. Like we got to do all the timing of the lights. Yeah. So everything's pretty much done. I'd say within the next 2 weeks, all that stuff on the side will be gone. That's good. Yeah. Okay. No more banging. No more destruction. No more. Now they're starting the other stuff. It's awesome. Yeah. From what they did to this school is absolutely awesome. From what it was. Now,
I got feelings. What's that?
Yeah, because the security officer is right there. Right there. Yeah. And there's two guys here.
You're ringing way in, speaking to somebody or something.
Right. Oh, look.
Thank you, folks. All right, in another minute, we're going to move to public comment on non-agenda items. I'm just going to ask you up front. Folks, I'm a resident, pay my taxes too, so I'm asking you as clearly as I can. I'm imploring you, literally. Do your best, please. We can either do this for potentially 90 minutes, years and years and heckles, that I don't think any of us wanted to do for 90 minutes. Or we can have people go up, give their view. I'm going to say the one thing I've said 1,000 times, it's worth repeating, is do not have to agree with the person next to you in their views. They have to at least respect that they have an opinion. They are allowed to have it, right or wrong. So, we're going to try public comment. I'm going to do my best to keep us on the straight and narrow. Mr. Taylor is going to be the facilitator. I'm going to ask one last time, please. We want to have public comment. We will. But I'm asking you to please be as civil as we can. That's all, guys. The only thing I'm asking. This time, any other unfinished or new business from the board members? If that wraps us out, that takes us to public comment. If you put your sign down, sir, thank you so much. Mr. Taylor.
All right, first up we have Richard Sachs, and they'll be followed by Cheryl Valentino.
Folks, as you're coming forward, it's 3 minutes. Please state your name and where you're from. Thanks, Mr. Taylor. Folks, we're going to say it's 7:50, round up 2 minutes. We're going to go until about 9:20, I hope.
the exact Sasd Township. I came here tonight basically.
Can't hear you. Speak into the mic.
I came here tonight basically in support for First Amendment rights. I think we can all agree on First Amendment rights are one of the crucial cornerstones of this country. We may not agree with what Mr. Formica said. He's expressed his forgiveness for that. And as has been stated, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. But what I didn't realize it was going to be tonight was a political hack job. And I see that being the primary purpose here, as opposed to dealing with the specifics of the issue. And I just wanted to express First Amendment rights for everybody. Because if you basically detract from Mr. Formica's First Amendment rights, it doesn't mean it can't happen to you at some point in the future. Thank you very much.
All right, it's Harold Delfino, followed by Bruce Hagan.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Baldino. I live in Upper Salford Township. My husband and I have been property owners and taxpayers there and in this district for close to 30 years. Our daughters were educated in and graduated from Sodderton School District. And these are my first ever public comments to the board. Our community, as we can see, is in crisis. A rotten element has been exposed on our school board, which is the foundation, the school board is the foundation, and the arbiter of all district decision-making. This crisis was born of neglect. First and foremost, the neglect of all of the school board directors. When a previous director resigned and the remaining school board directors did not properly vet Mr. Formica, and then you all unanimously voted to appoint him for the duration of the term. At that time, it was public knowledge that he touted an extremist ideology. He sported obvious red flags as to his character and his beliefs. And the school board directors neglected their duty to find an appropriate candidate that would represent the needs and interests of all the children and parents and grandparents and taxpayers in this district. When the following election came around, the voting community trusted the decision of the board. And Mr. Formica was swept in, along with the previously elected incumbents. Over the past few weeks, we have all become acquainted with the vile character of this person and his deep-seated beliefs. His repulsive social media posts have become international news and have cast a dark pall over the school district. A tiger can't change its stripes, and a skunk can't hide its smell. Staying away from social media will not change the nature of this man, or his lack of self-control, or his misogynistic, racist, xenophobic mindset. This embarrassment must resign so that we can all get back to taking care of our children's education.
20 seconds.
Okay, well, Mr. Formica, take your poison and be gone.
Bruce Hagan is speaking, and then I'll be followed by Lauren Mitchell.
Bruce Hagan, Telford. Bill, I appreciate your public apology and felt it was sincere and appropriate for this situation. I support your decisions to retain a seat on the school board. I believe the appropriate response is to accept this apology, extend grace, and move on. There was an op-ed in the New England Reporter this week by Maureen Prats that stated, "Our students deserve leaders who exemplify the highest standards of conduct in their public and private lives." However, there are those calling for Bill's resignation and calling for at least Bowers' ran for school board in the last election. Elise has posted the following on her social media. How about we call those alt-right folks what they are, white supremacists, racists, and terrorists. Alt-right and white nationalists sugarcoat and disregard the truth. They are terrorists.
They are terrorists.
In addition, John Waltenberger, who previously
I don't think personal attacks are allowed, Mr. Keith.
Enough, folks. Calling for Bill's resignation. He made these comments on social media. They were not directed to Bill. Yep, as I expected. You look like someone who beats your wife and children. If you want to play that game, yep, as I expect, it looks like someone who has monkeypox from the repeated enjoyment of taking it in the blank, whose hobbies include apologizing for being white and women children.
How is this appropriate?
Referring to a particular woman who said, "How many blank has been blank on to get your career?" This is a double standard. These individuals
this is against the rules.
In the way they communicate publicly on social media. Bill has expressed regret and taken responsibility for his comment. We've all made mistakes for a comment we regret and desire grace to be extended to us. For one, I'm extending grace to Bill and support him in his continuing strong work on the school board that he was elected to do. Thank you.
Lauren Michelle, followed by Nancy Buckley.
Hi, my name is Lauren McShay, and I'm a parent of a third and fifth Fairfield Elementary, where they go to school at a wonderful place where they've had a wonderful experience in a building where character does count each day. It's not a tagline for them, it's the reality. And I'm so grateful for it. The comment shared by you, Mr. Formica, demonstrates a clear inability to be a decision maker in this district. It just does. You can sit there arrogantly, but it does make your ability to make decisions. You're inept. The response to this unacceptable behavior has also been so disappointing. You did not make your comments, but you have not said anything, and the silence is deafening. The comments that you made, Mr. Formica, were about a national public figure. They were also about a woman and a human being. And no matter what you feel about her politically, you said them about a woman and a human being. And that cannot be disregarded. What you said was true, and it was clear misogyny. And you can slap that off and say that we're just saying it, but it's true.
Get off your phone, Bill.
Anything less is a voice with a voice mentality, and we cannot have that in our community. We can't. What is right and what is wrong. And this comment, and the others that you have made, it's not just this comment, it's others. You have demonstrated that you are unfit to make decisions for all students in this community, and that's an important word, all. The acceptance of this behavior by the current board is very alarming. The comments made by Mr. Formica on his social media sites are hateful and prejudiced. The girls in this community and the boys in this community are watching us, all of us. Think about a ninth-grade girl who sees this vile comment and has to watch for us all to fight for some action to begin. Think about the boy, the 10th grade boy or 11th grade boy who sees this horrendous behavior, knows it's wrong, but learns via these actions, or lack thereof, that it's accepted. My 8-year-old daughter and 11-year-old son will not grow up in a community where men are still allowed to diminish and degrade, where bigotry and prejudice are accepted in any form. Or other men and women, other leaders, do not stand up for what is right. When they see behavior they know is wrong. I will not stay silent, and neither should any of you. Bill Formica, it is time to step down and actually be accountable. Your non-apology is not to all board members, you need to publicly ask for Bill Formica's resignation. That is what you can do. Any of
Read the room.
Nancy Butler, followed by Diane Mansler.
Read the room.
Nancy Butler, followed by Diane Mansler.
Well, that's a hard one to follow. That woman said it all. But I'm concerned about the board and how this came to be that we ended up with a person like this on the board. And I'm concerned about the board members. So I want to say to everyone here, it is so important to vote, but number one, locally, you and I have the power to make sure there are not future Mr. Formicas on this board. I would like to know what each of our board members feel. We're all here tonight making a personal comment. I would like to see each one of you stand up and tell us tonight how you feel about Mr. Formica's action. Consequences are for the students who do not follow their code of conduct. What would happen if students had published these lewd, disrespectful comments on Facebook and X and other public forums? I think there would be consequences. So my question to you, it's obvious Mr. Formica is not going to resign. He's actually enjoying this. Sit! Please. What are the consequences for Mr. Formica? Will psychiatric evaluation request that of the parents of a child who bullies kids in school? Will he have to deal with his deep-seated hate for women, for Spanish-speaking people, for people of color? And are you, Mr. Formica, going to apologize to the people in this district who are teachers, Spanish-speaking people, the very people, the kids we are here to serve?
Time.
How do you feel about Mr. Formica's act?
Time is up. We have Diane Mansler next, and followed by Katie Farina.
One thing, the gentleman in the back keeps holding up the sign. People behind you are asking to please put it down, and it's happening. I don't really care about the sign, to be honest with you, sir, but the people behind you can't see. Please don't keep putting it up. Thank you so much.
You guys gonna do what that
Good evening, Dr. Fowler, school board, and community members. My name is Diane Manser. I'm a resident of Tony'sville, have 2 children in Santa schools, and I'm a teacher in a local school district. I am here, as are so many of you, to address the decisions of Mr. Bill Formica and subsequent decisions of our school board. As a teacher, I am often reminded to remember whom I serve. Over a teaching career that has reached almost 2 decades, this question has remained important, just as another question has, which is not asked as frequently. I would like my school board to reflect not so much on the question, whom do you serve, but rather on the most important question you can ask yourself as a teacher, a member of an educational institution, and a parent. What do you serve? I am hopeful your answer to this question is similar to mine as a teacher and parent. I serve integrity, I serve high values, I serve compassion. I serve inclusion, I serve character, I serve patience. I serve teaching through mistakes. I serve building confidence while holding a high standard. I serve goodness. What do you serve? The comments Mr. Formica has chosen to display on his public social media pages is not what we aim to serve in Sanders Area School District. As a school board, you are in a unique and uncomfortable position. You individually hold no more power than Mr. Formica. Public officials who behave poorly often get away with it because they did nothing criminal. But you are in a position that can place what do you serve as the most integral question. You have the choice to step outside the chaos and ask yourself this very simple question: what do you serve? Do you serve integrity and character? Then please act on that. You have the choice to say, value our values. We will now correct this. I say we know when Mr. Formica should remove himself from his position, which would be the most seamless and sensible option. He has made it clear in his public opinions that he does not serve the values we aim for here. Should he refuse to resign on his own, I urge the other board members to consider what you serve. Perhaps you serve restorative consequences. Could Mr. Formica be expected to enroll and engage in professional development, such as diversity training, digital citizenship training, and or could you expect to know that you do not serve what he has chosen to serve? We serve something much higher. There are a lot of people listening to this. There are a lot of people interested in this. They are the people we do serve. Like many local school districts, salaries and demographics are changing. You have students who speak a native language other than English. You have students who have been displaced. You have students who are mixed race and religion. You also have students who also happen to be female.
20 seconds.
They're all listening to you, they're all learning from you, they're all very, very eager to learn what you will do and what you will teach through what you will do. Please understand the weight of this and the importance that you hold of a fragile precedent in your hands. Don't drop it. The shadow will be irreparable. Instead, hold your decision high, decide from a place of what do I serve, and you can't be too far from doing the right thing. Thank you.
Katie Farina, followed by Kevin Shelley.
Katie Farina, 620 South Main Street. I just have a quote. I'm not as good as the rest of the people who spoke before me, but this is my quote for y'all. We were people who were not invaders. We lived in blank white spaces at the edges of print. It gave us more freedom. We lived in the gaps between the stories. From Margaret Atwood, she wrote The Handmaid's Tale. Sorry guys, the book you probably got rid of it, but still this is it.
Kevin Shelley, followed by Keith Thompson.
Thank you. Kevin Shelley, Lower South. Good evening and thank you for your service. Well, it's good to see so many people in attendance and actively engaged. Local government is important. It's at these small meetings where big decisions are made that can impact our lives and community immediately. I've heard a lot recently about how Mr. Formica was appointed to a seat on the board. While it is true that he was appointed initially to a seat, it was 4 months later that he successfully won an election. I don't know him personally, but I do know many of his neighbors. I have great conversations and respect for many of my neighbors, particularly one of them who came to me during the campaign to have a conversation. During the conversation, he told me that he has known Mr. Formica for years. He described him to me as very opinionated, not afraid to share his views. For these reasons, he was hesitant for him becoming a school director. My neighbor seems to be a good husband, father, grandfather, and someone I respect. Although we do not see eye to eye on mostly everything politically, we do care about our community and aren't afraid to talk to each other just because we have opposing yard signs in our yard. His opinion influenced my decision on election day in 2023, and I was not surprised to learn about the social media post. Neither was my neighbor. He simply told me what I tell you. I grew up here, I went to school here, and I've been part of this community my whole life. I love growing up with such a strong sense of community. Everybody talked and listened to each other without first asking, which political affiliation are you? I'm glad my neighbor and I do not get into things we disagree with, but instead find common things, like the love of this community we share. Had he shared his opinion with everyone who voted that election, Mr. Formica might not be in this position he is in right now. As community members, we need to educate ourselves to ensure to vote every election, especially local. For those running again and future candidates, we need to talk to everyone, not just those who share your party affiliation. It may not be as fun of a campaign and definitely more work, but the purpose is for us to know you and for you to know what is happening in the community. What are the community's biggest concerns and how do you best represent those while serving? As for resigning or not, that's on you and the entire board, because you are the board. If a colleague of mine made a similar post, if I couldn't legally make them, I would publicly recommend they resign in every subsequent meeting. Otherwise, it's on me too. I have and will continue to pray. I will have to continue to pray that you all make the right choice. As for that apology, if one of my kids ever came to me with an apology like the one you just gave, I would tell them not to be such an idiot, go to her, and come back with a real apology. What not to do if you ever want to hold any amount of respect in your community. The reality is this: you can't take it back. This is how we know you. I mean, I know that for me, and probably everyone else in this room, whenever we see you interacting with teachers, administrators, parents, or even when handing out diplomas to students, including my daughters who received theirs during their administration, just know that we can't help but wonder if you're asking yourself if the woman in front of you really deserves to be here, or if she just blew a lot of juice. Thanks so much.
Keith Dodson, followed by Matt Simpkins. Keith Dodson, followed by Matt Simpkins.
Good evening. Stand here before you as a proud parent of two recent graduates from Sasd High School. Hope thriving, hope in college. My reason for coming here tonight is to advocate for things that's desperately needed in this community, whether you realize it or not as the school. Recently, I've been deeply troubled by the social media posts from a member of this board, specifically targeting and disparaging the teachers of Sasd High School. These posts include statements such as, teachers need to stay in their lane. I don't want a perfect stranger that sees my kids 5 hours a week, for 1 year stealing their morals. Your morals are so much better. And number 12, everyone still gushes over teachers. What a great kid. Can't be fired, only worked 9 months. Great person, great pension, and no accountability for their performance. Where is your accountability for your performance? Such comments are not only disrespectful, but also demonstrate a profound misunderstanding of the teaching profession. The notion that teachers are not accountable, work only 9 months a year, and do not face significant challenges is a significant, gross misinterpretation of the role. The reality is that teachers play a multifaceted role that extends well beyond classroom instruction. They support students academically, socially, and emotionally, often going above and beyond to ensure their success and their well-being. Leave your sex out of it, right? These posts are particularly concerning because they come from a member of our school board, a position that requires an understanding and appreciation of the complexities involved in education. The arrogance and disrespect displayed in these comments are unacceptable and undermine the hard work and dedication of our educators. The failure of the school board to address these comments and hold this individual accountable is a significant issue. It is a disservice to the teachers, to the students, and the community members who value and respect the critical role that our educators play. The recent apology from the board member in question, which states, I recognize that this behavior did not reflect the professionalism expected of me. For that, I sincerely apologize to supporters, those who voted for me, and those who entrusted me. All about me, not love. All about me. The apology should not end, rather than starting as a point of meaningful exchange and accountability.
Okay, that is time. We have Matt Simpkins, followed by Meredith Torres.
It is crucial that we hold our
Matt Simpkins, followed by Meredith Torres.
professional and respect the educational community.
Can we turn down the reverb? It'll help everybody else too. I feel like I'm in an opera hall here. I had a speech that I was going to give. I did a lot of praying, a lot of thinking today. And what struck me is, well, a couple of comments today. Our kids are watching what not to do. I was at the last board meeting. Glad I didn't bring my kid down the street to see that one. The screaming and the disorder and then while I would have probably given a statement differently tonight, there have been consequences for this. I would call a death threat a consequence. I would call stalking a consequence. And I can give some grace if there's frustration after a family is threatened. It's been said that I serve something higher. I do serve something higher. I serve God. I serve Jesus.
Good for you.
But my heart has turned from leaning into the conflict to asking, why is it that so many are incapable of forgiveness? And what I realize is that the only reason I'm capable of forgiveness is because I've been forgiven of so much through the blood of Jesus. And so
this is a church.
And I've been forgiven of much, and so I can forgive much. If you're wondering how it's possible to be defending here,
And if you support
thank you for demonstrating character counts. I've heard it said to keep our kids safe, and I do share this goal. And the thing is, our kids' souls are much more threatened by a system that confuses them, that introduces toxic ideas at a young level. And some of my friends here tonight brought some literature from, yes, our Souderton libraries, and I'm much more concerned about those materials. I'm much more concerned about those ideas put into children's heads and those things put in front of their faces than what an adult is posting on Twitter. I taught kids for 12 years, that's a boomer thing. Nobody's on Twitter, no kids are on Twitter. And so, we were praying for our enemies tonight, and I continue to pray for this community. I don't think that setting the precedent of coercion being the way that we conduct business in Souderton is a good idea. I had a person email my employer last week after I dared to give a media interview saying, I don't agree with anything, there should be an apology. Somebody came after my job. I don't think that's the way we conduct politics, is to come after people's livelihoods. So I would call us to a higher character and a higher standard.
We have Meredith Torres, followed by Jason Shelley. Meredith Torres, followed by Jason Shelley.
Okay, just before our next speaker, give me 5 seconds. Guys, we're 1/3 in, you're doing great, but do me one favor, please. Yes, let people have their time. For or against. Thank you so much. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Meredith Torres. I'm a resident of Telford and the parent of 2 children who attend schools in the Souderton Area School District. Like many in this community, I don't know Director Formica personally. He could be a lovely gentleman. He could be an outstanding contributor to our community. He could also have chosen to represent himself on social media as such, but he hasn't. And without the benefit of that context, we can't make those conclusions. What we do know about Director Formica, based on what he has chosen to put out into the public domain, is that he believes teachers receive undue praise, as they have the greatest gig. They can't be fired. They only work 9 months out of the year. They have a great pension and no accountability for their performance. He's also going to learn Spanish so as to do whatever he wants, and if caught, tell them he's here illegally. After all, that's a get out of jail and all the free stuff I need card. He believes that slavery benefited Black Americans by teaching them skills like blacksmithing and farming. Wow. Director Formica used all the information that is available to him and chose these statements and many, many, many others like them to represent himself on social media. One can only conclude he believes the veracity of what he is posting. So if anyone in this room tonight
thought this was just about a misogynistic post about Vice President Harris, you can rest assured that was simply the tip of the iceberg. While Christopher Micah's First Amendment rights absolutely allow him to share his opinions publicly, it does not afford it with impunity, especially when it impedes his ability to objectively execute the requirements of his elected office. Two of the responsibilities for school board members, as outlined on our website, are to establish policies necessary for governing the school district, its employees, pupils, and all persons who enter school grounds or premises, and ensuring educational opportunities for all students of the school district. With his feelings about teachers, how can we expect him to advocate for solid teacher contracts that will keep the best and brightest educators at Southampton schools and ensure their paid competitively? Will he be supportive of bilingual education measures? If Vermillion Education knocks at our door, as they did in Cambridge, will he rubber stamp the curriculum that whitewashes U.S. history? Will he be receptive to the Black voices in our school community when they talk about their experiences here? This is not a political witch hunt, attempting to remove a competent and experienced individual from office. In fact, I can think of nothing more political than insisting someone remain in a position he is ill-suited for solely to advance a political agenda.
Mason Shirley, followed by Caitlin Gerstein. Mason Shirley, followed by Caitlin Gerstein.
It just feel like I'm just going to use a little bit of time to keep it positive and just thank the school board for serving. Mr. Mike, you're not the one here already. So there's just a lot of people, I feel, speaking to hear themselves, and I'm not going to do that. But I just thank the school board. You guys do an excellent job. You signed up for this as far as volunteering, you were elected. Just going to remind you that this is time to change.
Caitlin Gerstein, followed by Donald Benelli.
She doesn't go.
I am in part relieved tonight to hear the concern for progressive parents regarding crude language for children. For 2 years, I have advocated for books to be removed from our school libraries that contain crude and pornographic material.
Folks, please, you can't just dislike the comment and then say things. Everybody has a chance. All we're asking for.
Okay.
Stop afraid of it.
In fact, some include racist and misogynistic material as well. Now I see that the same progressive parents who
Elise, could you put your sign down, please?
Bill for Micah's resignation for a mistaken group comment made about
Mr. Stein, could you hold on 1 second? Elise, people have complained that they can't see. I'm going to ask you please to put your sign down. That's all. The gentleman in the back complied. Thank you so much.
Now I see that the same progressive parents who demand Bill for Micah's resignation for a mistaken group comment made about Kamala Harris on X are the same progressive parents who demanded that we keep these books in our libraries for children to access, for adults to give to minors. I'm going to read us, please, if there are any children in the audience, please close your ears. This is a book called Butch that was in our high school library. It's about a little...
Folks, come on now. We can't
I've been
continue.
here all night. Keep interrupting me. I reclaim my time. This was exactly 3 minutes, so I gotta get through it all. Okay, so this is about a little African American girl who was repeatedly raped and molested by her parents. She mothered a child by her father. Her father then repeatedly raped and molested her child and her. This says, "This time I know, Mama. She knows. She bring him to me. I ain't crazy. That stinky hoe, she gave me to him. Probably that's what he required at first, some of me. Got to where he just come in my room any old time. Not just night, he climb on me. Shut up," he said. He slapped my ass. "You white as a Mississippi. Don't tell me little bit of dick hurt you, Pepper." "Yes, the it," he laughed. "You is used to it." I fall back on the bed. He fall right on top of me. Then I changed stations. Then I changed stations, changed bodies. I do intimate videos and movies. "I'm gonna marry you," he be saying.
Natalie, put yourself down,
Listen,
please.
I'm
People
gonna get
last.
to my
Thank
point.
you.
You will let me finish. He messed up my dream talking and running. First he messed up my life effing me, then he messed up the effing talking. I want to scream, oh shut up, nigga, how you gonna marry me? And you is my husband.
It's also in Huckleberry Finn. It's in the band Huckleberry Finn.
Just this is a broken life. I'm your daughter.
Time.
All right, folks. Hold on, please. Can I have your attention, folks, please? Listen, here's where we're at. Hate me, don't like me, whatever. Here's the deal. If we can't get through comments in the next 55 minutes, we're shutting it down. If we can get through the comments, great. I've asked 4 or 5 times. All I'm asking is for you to do what you did for about 12 minutes. Can't we do that? Can we do that? If we can, great. If not, we're going to shut it down. We're going to waste 2 times. We're going to wait, guys.
Not soon enough.
Elise, can you have a seat, please? Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm your daughter. That can be illegal. I gotta go back to
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
seconds. Thank you so much.
The clock has started. 30 seconds.
Stop playing better.
I tried to go back to the video, but coming back now, rocking under car. Now my clock jumping juicy. I feel good. I feel shame. See, slap my thigh like cowboys do on horses. See, you squeeze my nipple right down on it. So come some more. See, you like it. You just like your mama. He pulled his dick out. The white comes back. Okay.
Time. Hope Donald, followed by Elise Bowers. Hope Donald, followed by Elise Bowers. It's time. Time.
You're done!
Hey, folks, have your attention, please. We're going to stop the 90-minute clock. It doesn't mean we're going anywhere. We're going to pause for 2. This Thursday, could you give me a minute, please? Thank you. We're going to pause for 2 minutes. I'm going to ask for Mr. Sultanic, Mr. Nelson, Dr. Gallagher, 2 or 3 minutes. I will do my best to come right back to you. Don't leave your seat. Don't leave your spot in line. We're going to come right back. Thank you. It's in recess for a moment. Thanks.
No one else got extra time.
I had no idea what kind of literally did this. The guy back there. Was he waving at you? Yeah, they're filming the movie. Yeah, that's all. They're posting the movie. Oh, shoot. Sorry. I just, I see we're going to pull back. I just threw around my chair. Got it. Yeah. Tell me the movie.
Hey, folks. Have you ever seen things?
Have a seat.
Thank you. There's a saying that says, you turn left, you're wrong, you turn right, you're wrong. I understand. Here's the scoop. Please, please, please. Can we just let people speak? Ms. Thurston, right or wrong, here's what I'm going to do. 20 seconds on the clock for a summary. After that time is done, we move on. That's all we can do. Please continue. You have 20 seconds.
No one else got
it.
The rest of these books detail pornographic images and how to provide oral and anal sex. They also provide how to connect kids with sex apps to meet up with other adults to have sex. That is what's in the books that I requested to be removed. The same progressive parents that fought me to remove these books are the same ones calling for Bill Formica's resignation. So if progressives cannot demand these books stay out of our schools, then this is nothing more than a political...
Hope Donald, Tom Bailey's fellas. Hope Donald, Bailey's fellas.
My name is Hope Donnell, and I live in Lower Southwood County. For 20 years, I served as an administrator in the Upper Dublin School District. I understand the motto of Sodderton School District is character counts, a very fine and noble motto. In my mind, this issue isn't about politics. It is about character and what is right and what is wrong. The definition of pattern is something that repeats in a predictable way is a pattern. If this was a one-off, it still wouldn't be right. But you see, there is a pattern here. All of you sitting up there on this school board know right from wrong. And although you cannot remove Mr. Formica from his position, you can stand up and loudly and repeatedly let your community know you find this representative of our school district unacceptable. We hold our children accountable for their actions. We hold our teachers, coaches, and administrators accountable for their actions. Seriously, this is a no-brainer. Be accountable. Let the school district move forward, Mr. Formica, and resign your position.
Denise Bowers, followed by Robin Kitt. Denise Bowers, followed by Robin Kitt.
Good evening, my name is Elise Bowers, and I have lived in Lower Southford for 30 years. I'm here tonight to register my outrage and disgust and even sadness at the situation in which we currently find ourselves. Honestly, I was close to tears earlier. Mr. Gallagher stated at the most recent committee meeting that nothing can be done to remedy this particular issue. This community, not all of us, are going to be placated by that assertion. So much of this continuing scenario could have been avoided from the initial appointment of Mr. Formica, all the way including the inadequate and ineffective communication followed. So let's see if I can help. In the spirit of respecting sunshine laws, which, in case anyone needs reminding, were completely subverted at Mr. Formica's appointment, let me ask a question right here of Mr. Keith in full public view. Are Mr. Formica's repeated tweets acceptable to you as a responsible leader in our school district, in which the very first characteristic of a chosen applicant is that he or she, and I quote, must be of good moral character? Yes or no? Mr. Keith?
I think Mr. Sultana covered that in his comments earlier.
He did. I thought I'd try, though. Okay? Fair enough. And now I ask you, Mr. President, as of the board, to ask all of your colleagues by roll call the very same question. Are these tweets acceptable from a fellow board member to represent the kind of character we wish to imbue and embody for our students? A simple yes or no by roll call will say.
Mr. Sultana also answered that question earlier.
Coward!
I know, it's a great way to cover one's butt. And I also know from a legal standpoint that boards are supposed to appear united, and I get that. We don't want our leaders to be bickering amongst themselves. I totally get that. I also believe, in one of my core beliefs, is silence is complicity. You can do something to resolve this problem. I ask you to do the right thing. There are two requests. One of my other favorite quotes that I've used recently is, there are two requests we can leave our children. One is roots and the other is wings. Let's show our students what character we have by letting them spread their wings. I'm not sure that Mr. Formica's comments allow students to be their true selves and spread their own wings. And that makes me incredibly sad. Character counts. Character counts.
Robin Kitt. And Robin Kitt followed by Ben Littler. Robin Kitt followed by Ben Littler.
Hi, I'm Robin Kitt from Franconia. I had a lot that I was going to say, but most people already said it. I'm not going to repeat myself. I am here, however, hoping that Mr. Formica will resign. Mr. Formica has turned our school district into an embarrassment. And if he stays, he's jeopardizing the education of all of our children, because teachers will leave and hiring new teachers will become problematic. And before families move to the area, they're going to do a Google search on our school district, and they're going to have pages and pages all of the stuff that you did on the Mr. Formica, and it wasn't just the Kamala Harris tweet. You've had some pretty disgusting things to say online. We all see it. So what? I mean, you just act like a normal human. And so those people are going to probably choose to go to a different school district. Because why would they want to live somewhere like this if this is what our character is supposed to be? It does not represent the great people that I know in this community. I'm sorry, what? If Mr. Formica truly cares about the success of our children, like you said you did in your very pathetic apology, you need to resign. You need to allow our community and this district to move forward from this colossal embarrassment that you are. Because the community, and most importantly our kids in this community, are watching.
And Littler, followed by Jay Sisler, and Littler, followed by Jay Sisler.
I have two boys in the school district, one in Burnfield and one in Herd Valley. So this community has really been a special place for us. You know, it's really embraced us, and nowhere more than our school district. You know, every time I see Dr. Graff, I have to say thank you, because he and his teachers have really made all the difference for our kids. They're wonderful people, and I gush over them. I do. The same goes for all the teachers in the Stafford Valley. It's just a joy watching our kids grow and learn every day. It's a special place, and we're glad to be here. We truly are. This is one of the reasons why this whole situation makes me sad. We should be here talking about our children's education, how to make this community better, and instead we're talking about something else. But it's important because it reflects who we are and who we want to be as a community and as a people. In our house, we believe in respect and accountability and kindness. We teach our kids that actions have consequences. And most of the time, our children choose appropriate behavior. But sometimes they don't. When it happens, there are consequences. Sometimes an apology is sufficient, but sometimes it's not, especially if you disrespect or hurt someone. And in that case, the consequences must compensate for your actions. It's not easy, but it's right. It's not easy for us, and it's not easy for them. Now, Mr. Formica may have apologized, but frankly, that is not enough. Actions have consequences, and Mr. Formica's actions go far beyond a simple apology. He's made it clear that he doesn't respect this community or our school district, and he is not accountable. And I believe the only solution is for him to resign.
Leave the room! Jay Sisler, followed by Chris Spiegel. Jay Sisler, followed by Chris Spiegel.
Jay Sisler, Souderton. I will be the first to admit this is not the place I wanted to be tonight. Relieved by the conservative victory in our last election, I assumed the bulk of my concerns would be easily addressed. Namely, that our children would be protected from a sinister plot to completely shift and confuse them to reject their God-given identity concerning gender and sexuality. You want something to cry with? Character counts.
I feel like it's a flood.
However, observing the behavior from the previous meeting has once again raised every concern to alarming levels. When a man who made an unprofessional statement is now being wrongly pressured to resign from the board, even after a written and public apology. Does this truly warrant his resignation?
Yes.
Hey guys, listen. Mr. Schisler, your time is on pause. We're going to shut it down. It's the best I can do. Here's the only reason why we're going to shut it down. You don't have to agree. You don't. But you got to give them their time. You give them your time. Thanks.
Even after written and public apology. Does this truly warrant his resignation? Absolutely not. If so, we would have no school board. None. We would have no leaders. Because we've all made mistakes. Is this not equal to the childish bullying our district goes to such great lengths in trying to prevent through our children? How is it that mature adults can stoop to such levels of communication over one mistake? Does this not reveal a different motive than simply holding a man accountable in order to trash his character? Does character really count here? Or is there an underlying agenda behind the disruptive behavior of the last meeting? I have lived in the pristine Souderton School District my entire life. It was not perfect, but it was rooted in the rich soil of hard work, faith, loving your neighbors, and looking out for one another. These are the ethics that have made us stand out among one of the best communities in Pennsylvania. Many of you have moved your families into this area because you were seeking relief from the effects of many of the damaging policies we are now debating. After 77 years in raising my own family here, I and the majority of local residents are unwilling to accept or allow our children to be indoctrinated with the immoral and unhealthy ideals that are destroying so many families and communities across this great nation. We will protect our children from evil at all costs. For the life of me, I'll just shout louder. Bring it on. For the life of me, I continue on.
Time's up.
We have Chris Spiegel followed by Denise Rhodes. Chris Spiegel followed by Denise Rhodes.
Time.
Mr. Schisler, we did give you the free, to be honest with you, sir. When I paused you, I did give you your time back to Mr. Taylor. I do commit to you that. I did. I'm sorry. I said when I paused you, sir, in the middle, I did pause the clock. Mr. Taylor did reinstate it. So that little bit of time I took, sir, I did get back to you. I promise you that. And it was a full 3 minutes.
Bye. That's mature. Assaulting someone with your stuff, right?
Hey, folks, are we good or are we not? We're good, please. Otherwise, we just shut it down. I keep saying it, but sooner or later, we're going to do it. Hold on, your time's not running, sir. You keep disrupting. We can either push people out of the meeting and not give people a chance to talk, or we can stop the meeting. Not what I'm looking to do, guys. Everybody here has the right to speak, but everybody has the right to be heard. Thank you.
I'm going to say that I'm a big supporter of the First Amendment as well, but I'm also a big supporter of consequences. Okay, you guys all supported him. You gave him a chance. It's not working out. It's time to get rid of it. Okay? I'm also going to cede my time.
Hi, Jake.
Hold on, Jean. 1 second. Clock's not running. Sir, I made it very clear in the beginning we're not ceding time. If Jean is up, please welcome her 3 minutes. Was she called, Mr. Taylor?
Not yet. It's currently.
I reclaim my time back.
Yes, sir. You can reclaim your time.
I am here tonight to demand the resignation of Mr. Formica. I am absolutely disgusted at the comments he made about the Vice President of the United States. I'm going to go off script here. If anybody thinks that this is all just about what he wrote about Kamala, that's not true. He wrote a lot of other stuff about teachers, about blacks, Hispanics, minorities, a lot of different stuff. Okay? I don't need Lauren Boebert. I don't need Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I don't need any of those other Marjorie Taylor Greene. Sir, I don't need lunatics like you on the school board. Okay? I don't need you working our school district to make headlines for your future political aspirations. And I think you should just go home. It didn't work out. Post all you want on Instagram and Facebook, anywhere else. This just didn't work out. And I think it was deplorable how you were reading your phone earlier on when people were addressing you, and the disrespect that you've shown everyone. And if you think that was the most insincere, false apology, give him a big round of applause.
Denise Rhodes followed by Kelly Gallagher. Denise Rhodes, followed by Kelly Gallagher. There are no Denise Rhodes here? All right, Kelly Gallagher, followed by Brian Farrell. Kelly Gallagher here?
Hi, my name is Kelly Gallagher. I am a resident of Sasd Borough. I have lived here for about 16 years. I have two daughters who go to middle school in the district. I'm not one to usually public speak like this, so I thought it was important to know that, first of all, you didn't apologize to me, you didn't apologize to the teachers or the students, and you are wasting everyone's time when they should be working on important business instead of talking about things that you decide that you just want to put out into the world that is unkind. And our children need to know that this isn't acceptable behavior. And I thought it was kind of ironic that I had to sign for their computers the other day, and I had to say that they weren't going to do what you did on the internet. Instead of being a distraction, you should resign so that we can get the business of the district done.
Brian Farrell, followed by John Waldenberger. Brian Farrell, followed by John Waldenberger.
Hi, my name is Brian Farrell. I'm from Telford. I usually don't speak at things like this. I don't speak about anything I'm not qualified to speak about, which is a lot. I'm not that smart. I went to Satterton High School. Parents didn't have the money for Christopher Dodd, unfortunately. That being said, there is one thing I do feel qualified to speak about. I did graduate from Satterton. I joined the Army. I went to Afghanistan. Thank you. When I was in Afghanistan, I told my platoon, as a leader, that they were all coming home. My whole platoon came home. There was one Purple Heart issued to my platoon, and that was for me. I have a mild traumatic brain injury and PTSD, but I can say that going through that experience, the one thing that I do feel qualified to comment on is leadership and the lack thereof.
Yes.
So, thank you very much. So, I agree, right? As everyone says, First Amendment, the right to speak your mind. Mr. Formica, you can speak your mind, but step out of the leadership job. I will say, watching you guys up there as leaders, some of you smirk, some of you sit back like you don't give a crap. And you're just as complicit as them.
John Waldenberger, followed by Helen Spiegel. John Waldenberger, followed by Helen Spiegel.
John Waldenberger, Telford Borough. Going off script here. First and foremost, Title 65, Section 7 and 12. You violated that tonight. I have brought forward a resolution. You've heard some of the quotes I included in here, so I'll skip over those. But be nice if you guys did the right thing and voted on this tonight. Whereas William Formica III is the Souderton Area School District Director, appointed to fill a vacancy in June 2023 and duly elected in November 2023 to retain the seat until 2027. Whereas on July 23rd, Formica responded to a post about Vice President Harris, asking what record, stating she blew a lot of dudes. Whereas on numerous occasions, Mr. Formica has made posts mocking and ridiculing teachers, including November 22nd, that was the why does everyone gush over them? Then again on February 19th, 2023, about teachers staying in their lane. Whereas on April 1st, 2024, Mr. Formica also on a post asking who the worst first lady was between Jill Biden, Hillary Clinton, or Michelle Obama, to which he replied, Michelle Obama is a racist, full of hate, and in parentheses, a dude. Whereas Mr. Formica made further derogatory comments on June 3rd, 2024. Keep in mind, he was sitting in this office by this point. In response to a photo of Michelle Obama, asking, is Michelle Obama the worst first lady? Yes or no? And his answer was the ugliest for sure. Whereas on February 21st, 2024, Mr. Formica made derogatory comments about the singer Lizzo, saying her body wasn't made for white people either. July 14th, 2024, in response to a photo of Whoopi Goldberg, captioned, I'm moving to Canada. She never said that. Mr. Formica replied, wow, she got fat! Looks like Jabba the Hutt. Whereas on June 3rd, Mr. Formica replied to a post asking about Black Lives Matter flags and pride flags. Stop and dox searching me. I don't know what the hell you're trying to say, but stop and dox searching your kids. And I'll paraphrase another one that I've seen apparently recently. Apparently it's okay to hang politicians. Mr. Formica, is that acceptable? I don't think so. Do the right thing. Resign.
Ellen Spiegel, followed by Natalie Simonetti. Ellen Spiegel, followed by Natalie Simonetti.
Sorry, everyone, I couldn't hear that I was next. Okay, so as an alumnus of Souderton Area School District and a resident of the area, I came to speak on behalf of other graduates of Souderton, many who were not able to attend. I have also prayed on what I'm about to speak about tonight. I'm not going to read the tweet about teachers because it was already read out loud, but I'm not really sure why you would go into public school if you don't trust teachers. I feel like maybe you're not fit for the job. Why work for the school board? It was brought up that the board can't just kick him off because he is an elected official, which is a little bit ironic since he was originally appointed without being elected, but I digress. But since he cannot be kicked off, if I were any other member of this board, I would highly suggest talking to my colleague that he resign in order to maintain the integrity of the Souderton School District I represent. Are you listening? My teachers taught me to listen to people when they speak. My teachers also told me to put my phone away when people are talking and listen to them.
Yeah, that's the first
Whether you like me or not, it's a limit concern. Also, I haven't tweeted anything anything I regret because my Souderton teachers have taught me that if I want to get a job and keep it, then I should be mindful of my different Listen, I am the biggest advocate of the First Amendment. I think you should be able to say absolutely whatever you want. I was outside protesting earlier as part of my First Amendment, and I think that's beautiful. I saw other people outside protesting as their First Amendment. That is your right to do so, and I will actively fight every day for your right to protest against me. But there are consequences for what you do. You can say whatever you want in America, but you're going to get consequences, especially in your job and career, if you spew specifically unprofessional comments online. My teachers also taught me that proper apologies don't place blame on the people that you're apologizing to. Cover everything that you've done that is wrong. Involves taking accountability for your actions and making amends. In this case, taking accountability would be resigning. It sounds like you have a lot to learn from teachers, Mr. Formica.
Simonetti, followed by David Wright, Natalie Simonetti, followed by David Wright.
Learn from the kid, Bill.
Hello, my name is Natalie Simonetti and I live in Telford. In May of 2023, I appeared before you to speak about the process of appointing someone to the seat being vacated by Donna Shuren 6 months after she won her race for PA House Representative. In my opinion, it was common knowledge that Mr. Formica, as a close family friend of Ms. Shuren, was the likely choice she was asking the other board members to make to fill her seat, which ultimately proved to be a correct assumption, because at the following month's meeting, it was indeed Mr. Formica who was installed in Ms. Shuren's seat, as I feared. This cronyism has led us to the place we find ourselves in today, with our small community at the heart of a scandal that has crossed oceans. Today, the Souderton Area School District, thanks to our school board being submissive to Representative Shuren, has become a global embarrassment. This is what I was afraid would happen when I first became aware of Mr. Formica's behavioral patterns. I wrongly assumed that when these things were pointed out to the incumbent members of the board, that they would do the right thing and protect our district from this man. You failed to do your basic duty as trusted members of our community, elected by the people to do what's best for them. You should all be ashamed of yourselves.
Shame!
You have brought this on all of us, and you need to be held accountable for abusing your positions of trust. Mr. Formica's statement makes the claim that his comments are not directed at anyone in the community. However, I have personally been the target of Mr. Formica's vulgar misogyny.
Say it.
I was informed Mr. Mrs. Brown referred to me as a classist slur into my last name simply because I had spoken out against his appointment. If he is willing to do something like this in public regarding a parent in the district, I can only imagine what he's like behind closed doors. Please, for the good of everyone in this community, remove this man from the position of trust over our children's education. It's never too late to do the right thing. Thank you.
Followed by James Spiegel, David Wright, followed by James Spiegel. David Wright here. James Spiegel is next, followed by Jordan Blumger.
Sorry. Jane Spiegel, Lower Southford. I'm here tonight to demand the resignation of Mr. Formica. I am absolutely disgusted at the comments he made about the Vice President of the United States, but sadly I am not surprised. We have seen numerous lewd comments that Mr. Formica has posted online. These comments were circling around well before he was appointed to his current position. The other board members knew the kind of person he was and his lack of judgment. Excuse me, they chose to appoint him anyway. Mr. Formica, you are a disgrace. The non-apology apology that went out weeks after your latest post came to light is a joke. Mr. Formica apologized only to his supporters. The students, teachers, and staff also deserve an apology. The greater Southern Area School District community does as well. Mr. Formica is an embarrassment to us all. How can we expect our students and teachers to feel safe when someone who has shown such disrespect for them is in charge? I would like to take a moment to thank Dr. Gallagher for taking a stand for both his teachers and his students at the teacher convocation. The silence of the rest of the elected board members is unacceptable. The justification I keep hearing is that he has First Amendment rights. That is absolutely true. He has a right to his opinion and a right to speak it publicly. However, the First Amendment does not protect him from the consequences of his speech. It is not his right to be a school director. It is a privilege to serve this community. His continued lack of self-control in spewing hatred and bigotry have shown that he is unfit to serve.
Like a toddler.
Character does count, and we deserve better. After hearing Mr. Formica's latest rant tonight, I need to reiterate that this is not about one comment. It is a pattern of bigotry and hatred. There are many examples of this. We read just a few of them outside tonight. I'd also ask all of you to go back and review exactly what Mr. Formica did say tonight. Putting aside his character for a moment, Mr. Formica has proven he is also too ignorant to serve on this board.
Jordan Blumgren, followed by Amanda Yost. Jordan Blumgren, followed by Amanda Yost.
Good evening, board members and Souderton community. My name is Jordan Blomgren, and I am here as a teacher within the district. Every member of this board is put into their position because of an election in which community members voted for individuals with whom they share common perspectives and values with. The individuals that were voted into these positions are reflective of the majority of the community. To simply resign from a position due to backlash from a population of constituents that never shared a common perspective or values with the board member to begin with would be oppressive and controlling. By allowing pressure from the community to force the resignation of an elected official, you are essentially undoing the democratic process of an election.
They didn't have an election.
When the district email was sent on August 2nd to staff and community members about Mr. Formica's comments to social media posts, I was confused as to why the district would take this opportunity to do so. This incident is being blown out of proportion and not being handled fairly. Please wait. I question if there are any derogatory posts made by administrators, teachers, and or staff about former President Trump, and I cannot help but wonder if the response would be the same from both the district and community members. Henceforth to August 21st, where all Souderton employees met for the welcome back convocation at the high school to kick off the 24-25 school year. The opening speech began with addressing Mr. Formica's comments. I question why this even needed to be mentioned. Many staff members still do not even know about it. How is addressing this and saying that Mr. Formica should resign supposed to motivate staff for the upcoming year and bring us together during a time of such political divide? Going back to the email, it states that we believe that school leaders should be strong role models, acting with the same respect, civility, and kindness that we ask of our students. During the convocation speech, back to the email. It was also mentioned that our schools and offices must be spaces where diverse opinions are honored, but where respect is required. And during the convocation speech, I did not feel that was the case. I left that meeting and I was unable to focus on things I needed to prepare for the upcoming school year. School leaders should be role models and not push their ideology onto students who are impressionable 7 hours a day for 180 days of the year. And one could argue that there have been incidents where this has happened and the district has not handled it in the same manner of how they're handling this current situation. I ask, where is the balance? I want to wish you grace, Mr. Formica, and I hope others will be open to doing the same. Continue to stand tall, express your views and beliefs with conviction and hard work to enhance our students' educational experiences. On a side note, as a teacher, I do feel like I have a good gig. I get to be with students and be with wonderful staff members and administration. And as a woman, I was not offended by your comments to a post. Your comments had nothing to do with me or women in general. I am one of 3.
Amanda Yost, followed by Edna Harple. Amanda Yost, followed by Edna Harple.
To our servicemen, thank you for your service. Not one of you Republicans clapped or stood up for him. We have got to do better. This is embarrassing. The shame that has been brought to this community. If you are one of the ones who allegedly made death threats or violent threats against the board or administration, shame on you. Or, you may not recognize what I just did there, but it's called the right thing. You have been absolutely silent for over a month. We have been begging for you to stand up and stand up for what is right. You were not elected as a team. You were elected as individuals to serve our children. You are individuals that I sit with on the sidelines, that I toast to at holiday parties. I trusted that when the rubber hit the road, you'd stand up. Where have you been? Bill, everyone in here knows men just like you. The kind who likes to be different. You like to be the contrarian. You like to go against the grain. You like to be the black sheep. But I have news for you. The black sheep is still just a fucking sheep.
Just return your number a little bit. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. She can read 50 Shades of Grey, but I can't say that.
Continue on.
I will leave you with one more thought. Let me finish, please. I'm speaking. I will leave you with one more thought. I have a lot of quotes that I love in my house. We teach our kids a lot of different things that I hope stick in their brains. They go through their day in the halls of our wonderful, wonderful schools. One of those quotes is, when people show you who they are, you believe them. You have shown us, and we believe you. Thank you.
Edna Harple, followed by Teresa Merzen. Edna Harple, followed by Teresa Merzen.
I'm Edna Harple. I grew up in this area. I graduated in '62 from Saturn High School. We were a small group, but we were an amazing group. I'm very disappointed with what our district, what has happened to this country. I am so disappointed. We do have a constitution, we do have freedom of speech, and people say, oh, it's just one-sided. One side can say bad words, other people can't. But I mean, if it's true, then it needs to be said, because this country needs to hear the truth, or we're going down. We're going down, and this is the truth. Caitlin came up here with a bunch of books that I read. My husband read multiple ones of those, and they were horrible. They were horrible.
Oh, go back.
They were horrible.
Hey, folks, last chance. If
now the
Mr. Deal sees who you are, we're going to ask you to leave. It is what it is.
And those-
You don't have to like her opinion, but she can continue on.
Those kids are the ones who are seeing these horrible books. They're not seeing his tweet, but they're seeing his. This is so, I have seen so much hate here. This is horrible. If the kids saw all this hate, if that's the example of what being courageous and being honorable and all that is about, the kids are seeing their parents getting up here and booing and screaming and hollering and shoving everybody down because they're afraid that they might say something that might be true that would offend them. Well, we're offended. We're offended with the smut that's in the schools. We're offended with people getting up and having a fit about the tweet that this man, he came out and he said something and it was true, and he had a right to say it. He had a right to say it. That is our country, that is freedom. Next thing, well, besides taking all the censorship that they're doing, all you hear is the mainstream media telling their lies about Trump and everything else. That's true. That's true. That's lies.
Hey folks, you don't have to let your opinion get into it to you. That's a plain instability of it. End of story.
There's wokeness in this whole land. Our nation is going down. We're going to skip right over the socialism, go right into communism. We'll have no freedoms. We'll have no freedoms.
20 seconds.
And we need to teach kids values that are honorable. We need them reading, writing, and arithmetic. We don't need them to know sex education and all this. This is up to the parents. The parents should take care of sex education, not the school board. And no one should tell them
Time. Racial immersion.
Hello. Okay. My name is Teresa Merzen. I'm a resident of Souderton who voted to elect each of the present school board members. And like me, the majority of voters in this area elected the present members of the school board, which is why they're in office right now. The people whose candidates lost the election do not get to subvert the voting process by forcing the duly elected Mr. Formica to resign, so they can undemocratically install their own radical leftist candidates onto the board. That came out as the plan. You know what? That came out. Sorry, but you know what? By revealing that demand, these activists showed their hand. It's not really about Mr. Formica. It's about infiltrating the school board with a radical leftist candidate at the end goal. You got to understand the mind of these people. They pretend to complain about character, but they hold other people to different standards than they demonstrate themselves. You can see it here tonight. They cannot help themselves from interrupting people. They can't shut up, okay? They think it's fine. They think it's fine for them to be rude, belligerent, crass, intimidating, saying that someone has to go to psychological therapy, needs to go to re-education camps because something is wrong with him, being condescending. Any means, excuse me, I'm speaking. You like that term, don't you? Excuse me, I'm slowly speaking. They do all these things, any means they deem necessary to get what they want. What the board needs to do, on behalf of the majority of the voters who elected them into office, and all constituents who want to focus on the primary mission of the school board, which is the children and their learning, is to tell these activists that their behavior is not tolerated in our community and their demands will not be met. In closing, I want everyone here to think about something. Why would constituents, why would constituents who very likely did not vote for the current school board members be checking Mr. Formica's personal social media posts? Why would they know? Why would they know what he posted? Because they're looking. It's not his official. Listen, it's not his official.
She has the floor, guys.
It's not his official position.
Simple.
Account. It's his personal account. They're looking for an excuse to replace him because they don't like him. They're monitoring the actions of their enemy for what George Orwell called thought crimes. They want to police and punish you for what you say, how you feel, what you think. And guess what? That's creepy.
That's
Hi,
creepy, okay? Stop.
Time. All right, we have Kathleen Shaw.
Yeah, Mr. Taylor, we did hit at 9:50, I'm sorry, 7:50 to 9:20, but we did take the recess, which I believe is 4 to 5 minutes, so we're going to take another speaker, please.
Kathleen Shaw. Kathleen here.
Yeah, Kathleen, last call. Taylor, do you have another?
Yep. Nicole Widener.
Cool.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Widener, and I'm a resident of Franklin Township. Mr. Formica, your ongoing public tweets and comments are deplorable, disrespectful, cowardly, and unacceptable. Your recent tweet about Vice President Harris insinuates that all women in our community, which I am one of, especially the young women of Saddleton School District, are not capable of achieving positions of leadership or power without performing sexual acts. And that is the truth. Your comment is misogynistic, and it is sexist. It's insulting, it degrades women in this community, and you should be ashamed.
Pay attention.
It also demonstrates your lack of character, your lack of leadership, and your lack of good judgment. I call for your immediate resignation because of your behavior. This is not a one-time mess-up. Your consistent, deplorable insults attack against women, teachers, communities of color are degrading, sexist, misogynistic, and racist. Your ongoing comments and attitudes are examples of behavior that are not of character or leadership. And this discussion here tonight is not about politics, religion, or about forgiveness, or one of your social posts. Your comments made earlier this evening made it apparent that you completely discounted your written apology, and quite frankly, sir, they were juvenile. It's apparent that you don't know the definition of misogyny, racism, or many of the other behaviors you display. Misogyny is the dislike or contempt for or ingrained prejudice against women. Your most recent comment is by definition misogynistic. Sir, I do forgive you, and I do love Jesus, but you are not suitable for this office, and you must resign.
Resign now.
I take my position in this committee to vote very seriously, and I take the time and commitment that you put forward here in your jobs very seriously as well. I urge you to stand for what the school district stands for, which is character, and I ask you to hold your colleague professionally accountable for his actions and multiple disparaging words that do not represent the values and tenets of this school district and community. This is not the first, and I expect it will not be the last, of disrespectful and egregious comments that Mr. Formica will make. As an elected leader of our community, you have a responsibility to hold your colleagues on this school board accountable.
You guys voted me, you fixed it.
All right, folks, believe it or not, that is the agenda. We got through it, thank you. So as we get to the end of it, the next thing on adjournment, or on this agenda would be adjournment. So at this point in time, board members, may I have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion by Mr. Nelson, a seconded by Mr. Brown. All those in favor, aye. All those opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
Shade.
I got one more.
If I was handing them my something else, you can talk to me. Back up. See, we're gonna play coward game here. I sent you a Alright, I didn't see your response, so. Huh?